Human-computer interaction is basically how humans communicate with computer systems, which includes their understanding, perception, and their ability to operate computer systems. In this video, we will focus on how HCI made technology evolve over the years, from difficult-to-use computer systems to the advanced and intuitive ones that we are using today. This video will include different areas the HCI influenced and made them improve. Those are input-output devices, virtual reality, and online support systems. In early 1950s, Robert Everett developed a light gun to read the position of a dot on a screen of the whirlwind computers that were used for diagnostic purposes. The first prototype of trackball used a bowling ball for the Canadian game. The ball was supported by the air so as to minimize the friction and keep the ball floating despite its weight. Light pen was the first technology that allowed you to use a pen-shaped device directly on the screen. In 1964, two scientists from Stanford Research Institute created the first prototype of the mouse. In 1968, the first commercially shipped ball mouse was created. It was designed for TR-86 computers in Germany. This touchscreen, designed in the University of Illinois, was the first widely deployed touchscreen technology. It sensed the position by the finger interrupting light beams that ran parallel to the surface of the computer screen. It was developed for the Plato computers that were deployed in schools throughout the state. The Freedom keyboard by IBM was the battery-powered cordless keyboard that employed infrared technology. It worked within 2-meter range, however it had limited success because it required an obstructed line of sight to operate. In 1984, Japanese company Wacom released the first tablet with a stylus that wasn't connected to the device. In 2008, Leap Motion Incorporated developed the Leap Motion controller that tracks the hand gestures to work as an input device similar to a mouse. The Leap Motion controller is a small USB peripheral device which is designed to be placed on a physical desktop facing upwards. It became widely available for commercial use in 2013. In 1838, Charles Wheatstone's research demonstrated that the brain processes different two-dimensional images from each eye into a single object of 3 dimensions. Viewing two side-by-side stereoscopic images or photos through a stereoscope gave the user a sense of depth and immersion. This was the milestone in the development of the 3D images. In the middle of 1950s, cinematographer Morton Hegel developed the Sensorama, which was an arcade-style theater cabinet that would stimulate all the senses, not just sight and sound. It featured stereo speakers, a stereoscopic 3D display, fan, smell generator, and a vibrating chair. The Sensorama was intended to fully immerse the individual into the film. He also created 6 short films for his invention, all of which he shot, produced, and edited himself. Morton Hegel's next invention was the telesphere mask, and it was the first example of head-mounted display but without any motion tracking. The headset provided stereoscopic 3D and wide vision with stereo sound. In 1968, Ivan Sutherland and his student created the first virtual and augmented reality head-mounted display that was called Sword of Damocles. It was connected to a computer and not to a camera. It was a large and scary-looking contraption that was too heavy for any user to comfortably wear. The user would also need to be strapped into the device. Plus, the computer-generated graphics was very primitive. In 1993, Sega announced the virtual reality headset for the video game console at the Consumer Electronics Show. The wraparound prototype glasses had head tracking, stereo sound, and LCD screens. However, technical development difficulties meant that device would forever remain in the prototype phase. In 1995, Nintendo released a 3D gaming console, but it was a commercial failure. The reported reason for this failure were lack of colors in graphics, lack of software support, and difficulty to use the console in a comfortable position. In 2013, Oculus Rift presented developer version of Oculus virtual reality device. On 27th of November 2015, Samsung Mobiles released virtual reality gear which was developed in collaboration with Oculus Rift. This device uses Samsung smartphones as a display. The latest development in virtual reality headset industry was unveiled by Sony in 2016. The device has improvements in the precision of motion tracking, which makes it the virtual reality headset with the lowest latency in the market. Besides that, the headset supports 120 frames per second graphics, providing very smooth video.
In the early 1870s, before the invention of the telephone, customers had to go to the original store in case they had a question or a problem with their product. This meant face-to-face conversation. In 1876, the telephone was invented by Antonio Meucci and Alexander Graham Bell. This invention led to the development of the customer service sector. Since telephones only worked in pairs, in 1894, when telephones gradually expanded, switchboards were set up across the country to allow numerous phone calls. In the 1960s, large companies began investing on call centers in an effort to increase efficiency. These departments were dedicated to answer receiving customer inquiry calls. In 1962, the touch-tone dial telephone was unveiled. The American Bell Company introduced the touch-tone dialing, which is a new technology that made computer to recognize and respond to sounds made from dialing. The 1800 number was invented in 1967. Communication with the customer service still meant that the customers had to pay for the talk time. This changed in 1967 when AT&T introduced the toll-free 1800 number, which meant it was free and they didn't have to deal with an operator. With the invention of interactive voice response in the 1970s, while still under development, this technology paved way for improvements in hard drive technology, allowing users to interact with digitized speech which play as spoken messages. In 1991, the Internet was introduced to the world. Email and instant messages had grown enough that businesses can utilize one-to-one chat with their customer online, cutting out the middlemen of IVR and operators of the past. From 2008 onwards, Facebook and other social media such as Twitter were visited by many people around the world. The businesses saw an opportunity to connect with both happy and unhappy customers in a more personal way and very public manner. In 2014, businesses released their own dedicated mobile apps to allow customers to access all of the most important and vital information they need from their company, along with self-service options.